Hello everyone! For today's video, I have decided to have a look at the Elder Scrolls mobile games. Now I know what you're all thinking. Kotho, those games are dog shit. However, I am a fervent believer that everything deserves a fair chance. So I will ask everyone to engage this subject with an open mind. I, of course, have a very open mind. In fact, my mind is so open that they had to perform cranial surgery on me last week. So I will ask that for the duration of this video, all of you please keep an open mind. Okay, let's get into the footage. I have yet to boot up the game. You know what? This whole open mind thing really isn't working for me right now. Okay, we're here. A solid 20 frames per second. Oh, I can play it by rotating my phone. Oh, this feels like dog shit, never mind. Sir, why are you dressed in Skyrim gear? This feels uncanny. The appearance and the sound effects are all ripped straight from Skyrim. You know what? When I think of the quintessential Elder Scrolls experience, I usually don't think of voices or weapons. I think of like a world to explore. Okay, so FYI, I just spawned. There's a bunch of mercenaries talking about a queen. I know nothing about her. There was no intro sequence. There was a very bare to the bones tutorial. And I must confess something. Everything feels very clunky. It feels very difficult to play. You can move by either scrolling or by either tapping where you want to go. And it feels kind of scuffed. What a cinematic. Look at that budget.
Say, you look very familiar. Aren't you? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. You don't look familiar at all, but your clothes do. I think that for this playthrough, I'm gonna make it Khajiit, because my comments keep telling me that I sound like one. There we go. He's ready to commit war crimes. In classic Elder Scrolls fashion, and by classic I mean I've never seen this before, they have voice acted exactly the first line of dialogue and left everything else to just be text. So from what I'm gathering from this intro, we are an ex-member of the Blades, who, as you all know, were disbanded after the end of the Great War. And when we go back to our old town, we find it in ruin. Apparently some bandit queen came and broke a bunch of stuff, and then she broke a statue and caused a huge explosion, and now the whole town is one huge ruin. And now we have to go around and save the townsfolk who were captured by goblins. So we open them up and Todd, where is this? Where is this taking place? Are we in Tamriel? This has to be taking place in a different Kalpa, right? Like, what is this? Where are we? So now we have to go save the townsfolk who were captured by goblins. The game does have a few nice visuals, but don't let that distract you from the fact that my phone is burning right now. I could reliably fry an egg here. Oh my, could they not have made a new model for Skeevers? They ripped this one completely from Skyrim too. At least the goblins aren't ripped from Skyrim. Skyrim doesn't have goblins. This looks incredibly scuffed. Alright, we saved the villager. So far, with my open mind, early impressions are not looking good. The combat is two-dimensional, and what I mean by this is that you can go closer or further away from something once you're locked into combat. I'm gonna show off later why that is, but it makes the combat feel extremely clunky, since to hit something, that something must approach you. So it feels like you're never really taking the initiative for something. You're just reacting to stuff. Also, and I'm gonna get sick of saying this, but it feels like so much is ripped from Skyrim. I would be willing to forgive them for that if Bethesda was like a small studio, but Bethesda is not a small studio. And another thing that is personally very annoying to me, the sensitivity of this game is fucking trash. I hate it when games have low sensitivity. I have to press 3 times to turn 180 degrees on maxed out sensitivity. The level up sound is the exact same sound as the sound for accepting a quest in Skyrim. Like, look at this. The game locks you into combat. And there it is. A scroll of revival. The Elder Scrolls of Revival. This game does have a few good ideas. For example, most dungeons have secrets in them, and don't get me wrong, those secrets aren't actual secrets, because everything in mobile games has to be shiny, so you want to click on it. But I did find them enjoyable, even though they're obvious. And you might be wondering, why am I judging a mobile game so harshly? And my response to this is that I'm not judging a mobile game, I am judging something with the tag Elder Scrolls on it. If it were any other shitty mobile game, I would be like, I don't care. But because it's been advertised as an Elder Scrolls experience on your phone, I will judge it as an Elder Scrolls experience. And right now, the only thing in my fingertips is extreme heat and maybe radiation poisoning. So basically, in between of you swishing and flinging your sword at pixels, you have to go back to your town and repair it so you can get new shops, better upgrades, and better gear. Upgrading the town gives the player a feeling of visual progression as you turn a complete dump into a sprawling city, is what I would have said if all I just mentioned wasn't also purchasable through the cash shop. Repairing buildings need time to be upgraded, or you can speed the process up with gems, which you can buy for real life money. The materials to upgrade the buildings can also be found in the crown shop. You can also buy potions, scrolls of revival, gear. You can obtain gems slowly and painfully by going through this game and opening chests. A chest can give you a grand total of 3 gems. Now you might be thinking to yourselves, okay, Kotho, if I can upgrade the town fully, not by playing the game but by throwing money at the game, then doesn't that take away from the sense of progression? Yes it does. It completely nullifies the whole aspect of progression. Now when you upgrade a house per se, you don't exactly feel a sense of progression. Rather, it feels like you wasted your time because you didn't want to spend money into the game. But alas, I shall remain steadfast and keep an open mind. This is a mobile game, and Bethesda have shown time and time again that they aren't exactly above this type of monetary gain tactics. Oh, and by the way, did you notice that the exclusive currency is called gems? I hear you ask, why not call it something more lore-friendly? I've barely seen gems like these in any Elder Scrolls game. Why choose them here? Well, in 2 words, recognizable pixels. Clash of Clans. Despite what they tell you, this game wasn't meant to be an Elder Scrolls experience, and it wasn't meant to appeal to the casual Elder Scrolls player, or even the hardcore player for that matter. This game was made to appeal to the casual Clash of Clans player. Hence why we have green gems. Moving on with an open mind. Well, it seems like, at least to an extent, they were able to capture the essence of an Elder Scrolls game. Oh, never mind, I need to charge my phone. Note to viewer, do not play this game while charging your phone. I wonder where the secret might be. Could the secret be in this axe? Could it be in this grass right here? Could it be this giant glowing effigy? Maybe, let's see. Very secret. And just in case you are in danger of using a single brain cell during this playthrough, the game automatically gives the player clairvoyance, so you are never lost, not even for a single second. How much do you want to bet that at least 70% of the budget for the animations in this game went on the chest animations? There we go. We fixed the smithy. Have you come to rescue Khajiit? Yes. 50 gems. Giving them away. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Every now and again we get to meet the old Grandmaster of the Blades and have a 101 session with him. It's like an extended tutorial. I don't know why they chose to do this. The combat is so rudimentary and bare bones. There is basically 2 things to click. Block and attack. And once in a blue moon cast a spell. And also, another thing about the combat. It's very number focused. You will see that more in the later stages of the game. But after a point, your damage reduces significantly. And all the enemies begin to outscale you. Now, I personally cannot think of a single reason why they would want the world to eventually outscale the player. Pause for irony. Clearly, this must have been a technical issue.
Such a beautiful day.
No, it's not. What the fuck are you talking about? Another piece of credit that I can give this game is that the Elliot ruins look awesome. They're definitely a step up from Oblivion's. Sucks that they only made like 5 different dungeons for them, and they just keep copying and pasting the same dungeons everywhere. But you know, credit where credit is due. The skill tree system is also pretty bare bones. You never have a real incentive to pick what you're gonna choose and customize your class. Eventually, you're gonna pick everything. Different enemies are weak to different things. So the whole gimmick is that you have to know what you're fighting, slot it in, because you cannot change spells while you're in combat, and then click on said thing you're fighting with the appropriate spell. Why can't we change spells while we're in combat? I don't know. On a positive note, the game seems kinda generous with the amount of green gems given to the player. Let's see the actual prices, shall we? Giving it away. 200 more chests until I'm able to get my own black and gold stele. Look at all that value. I'm gonna lose money if I don't buy this. Also, I want to point out something uniquely egregious and uniquely stupid. And I promise, this will be the last time that I'll talk about the whole gem thing. But the game does this thing, wherever you complete a building, level up, open the game or open the menu of the game, or just at random while you're playing, the game will pause and shove a limited time offer down your throat. It is ridiculous, and it's definitely not what I have in mind when I think of the Elder Scrolls experience. Sir, you look kind of familiar. Are you Shiogorath?
Hello, friend. I say, you look different today.
How pathetic is this that the Shiogorath of 20... When was this game published? That the Shiogorath of 2020 looks infinitely worse than the Shiogorath of 2007. All he does throughout the entirety of this game is he gives us a quest for the Abyss, which is basically an endless dungeon that you go over and over again, basically copy-pasted. And he's also able to change our appearance. That is the extent of Shiogorath in this game. This isn't even fan service, this is a fan D-service. And now I shall give a rundown of the main plot points and the main quest of the Elder Scrolls Blades. And if at any point throughout all of this, any of it sounds familiar, it's because it should. Allow me to enlighten you. For you see, under our town lies an ancient alien tomb, which in it rests an ancient alien mage king, who was sealed there with the help of an Elder Scrolls. And now that the Blood Queen and her mercenaries broke the statue on top of the town, the alien king has been set loose on the world. So what we have to do is find an Elder Scrolls, talk to a dragon, and banish him once again, leading to a final confrontation between us and the Mage King, in which we're tasked with banishing him once and for all. Yes, they copied Skyrim's main quest almost line for line, but instead of Alduin, it's some Mage King. They even copied the wall we find in Skyruler Temple. It is so ludicrous and uncreative that it touches the line between ignorance and absurdity. In fact, let me say this whole game feels absurd. It is such a weird combination of a Skyrim feel generated not by recreating the experience given by Skyrim, but by ripping off assets from Skyrim and then shoving it into this game, scammy mobile cash shops, and that painted loosely with an Elder Scrolls font. I have a question for everyone. How many of you would be willing to pay for a good Morrowind port on mobile? I would, but who asked for this? Every now and again you get some small tidbits of lore that honestly just feel shallow. What does it honestly change if every time I die there is a quote from an Aedra? Which, where are we quoting the Aedra from, and why are you showing me this? 90% of the people who play this game don't know what an Aedra is. You never explained it, and it never comes up. Also, two other points of criticism. The events of Elder Scrolls Blades are trash. It is the same dungeon over and over again in different difficulties. The rewards are good, but they are repetitive, stale, and shitty. And as I hinted at earlier, after one point, the world begins to outlevel the player significantly, to the point that you have two options. You will either spend days grinding to get a small advantage and progress, or you will just throw money at the cash shop. I was gonna talk about the PvP, but the PvP solely exists to give whales and people who grinded way too much a sense of achievement and give everyone else an incentive to grind or to spend money, meaning this is trash. Oh, my lasagna is ready. What else is there to say about this game? Oh yeah, there's this. Oh no. Oh no. Todd, what are we doing here?
Greetings, valuable customer. I bring you wares from Cross Tamriel.
They did it. They turned Dark Elves into Smurfs. Keep Morrowind fans as far away from this game as possible. Behold, there it is. An Elder Scroll! Look how far the mighty have fallen. And now for a perfect example of what I mean when I'm saying that the combat in this game is basically a stat check. There is no moving around this guy, there is no finessing this guy. If you have the right armor and spells, you win. If you don't, you lose. If you're willing to put money into potions, you might have a chance. Blocking doesn't work that much, because you still take a bunch of damage. Also, another note about the combat, the animations feel very messy. Like, it feels like there's some kind of animation cancelling going on, but it doesn't feel organic, and I don't want to bother figuring it out. So, in short, is the Elder Scrolls Blades the Elder Scrolls experience in your fingertips? Let me think about it. I guess if your only interaction with Elder Scrolls was the trailers and Manslayer's gamer poops and never actually interacted with any Elder Scrolls game, I guess this could pass out as an Elder Scrolls experience. But hey, at least it doesn't get any worse than this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Who are you? I remember Todd once did an interview where he talked about why the Elder Scrolls Redguard flopped, and he said that fundamentally the issue was that this wasn't what people wanted to see out of Bethesda.
I think it missed kind of a technology window, as well as ultimately not what people wanted from us.
And I'm glad to say that no lessons were learned on that day, were they? And why do they need my data for a mobile game? Okay, what's the story here? They say great dynasties are born from single acts of courage, moments celebrated for generations. Such a moment came when Ora the Brave led us to defeat the ogres that plagued this land. Made a ruler of a small kingdom by the Emperor, Ora left a life of adventure to establish a new dynasty. But heavy are the crown's duties on the ruler's head. Ora began to dream of new conquests, though perhaps not all of the Oh my god, his conquest was becoming a fairy. What are you? What is this? This is so bad. This looks like trash. That cannot be how you made the Khajiit. The first official decree we have to pass as a king is admit if we had sex with a Khajiit or not. This looks like somewhere in High Rock, maybe Cracklon. Where are we? Oh, the king died. Everyone just walks by his corpse. This looks so bad. Look at their eyes. They're in pain. And I'm in pain too.
Look at the pain in its eyes.
Alright, Kotho, you're getting out of line. We have to keep an open mind. I'm gonna go with the Redguard because, you know, Yakuza forever. Is this gonna be one of those things where the options are like polar opposites of morality and nothing else? Yes. That is exactly what it turned out to be. Would I rather feed the peasants or let them starve after all? Alright, now I get to expand the castle. Looking good. I'm sorry, but you mean to tell me that the previous king didn't even have a kitchen going on in this place? I can assign workers to work on different stations, apparently. And there are two basic resources we have to manage. Food and oil. Wait, what? Actually, yeah. Why oil? Oil refinery. What do you mean an oil refinery? When has oil been a problem in Elder Scrolls? Ah, yes, I remember going to Markath for the first time and gazing at their fine oil refinery. I cannot tell you the degree by which this feels unreal. The questing sounds are the exact same as the questing sounds for Skyrim. This can't be real. It's been more than a decade. It's actually a little known fact, actually, in case you weren't aware, that Uriel V only invaded Akavir to gain access to their oil supply. The Elder Scrolls franchise actually just runs on fossil fuels. Akavir is kind of like the Middle East. You know what? I could get into detail about this game and explain the mechanics and the buildings and the resources. This game is, above all else, something I would deem as a clickathon. You just click things. I haven't used a single brain cell while playing this game. Not that I used any brain cells for Blades, mind you, but this is on a league of its own. You do nothing else but clicking. I'll give you the very basic rundown. You need food to feed people in your castle. You need oil. You can get cloth. You can get limestone. And while making the structures necessary for those resources, you level up. And you gain XP and level up by completing missions, harvesting resources, upgrading stations, or building new stuff. My first recording for this game was 33 minutes long, including the intro section, and by the end of it, I was already level 11, meaning that on average, you get one level per 3 minutes. Where did we go wrong? Was it the horse armor DLC? It was the horse armor DLC, wasn't it? It's like, that's right, I bought a horse.
That's right, I bought a horse.
And now we're here collecting oil for a castle that takes place in a fantasy setting. I mean, seriously, has anyone here ever heard of a fire spell? And here's where I get to see everyone's happiness, and everyone hates me. That's okay, I hate them too. Sir, I found a shiny rock whilst wiping the floor. Can I keep it? Imagine finding a shiny rock on the floor, and your first thought is, I'm gonna tell the king about this. And here are the resources. Okay, as of right now, this castle has a kitchen, a mill, an oil refinery, a cloth station, and a processing station, and a forge. Alright. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't a castle. At best, it's a work commune, and if we're being realistic, this is probably a gulag. You can also get people married and make beds for them to have sex in. So all things considered, if it is a gulag, it's probably one of the better ones. Okay, so I just placed these two to get married, and they just said that they're cousins. Your Majesty, the commoners, they're starving. Shall we give them food, perhaps? Oh, just fucking kill them, dude. And there you have it. There comes a time in every mobile game where the gamer, quote-unquote gamer, has to ask themselves, is this the loot box? I believe that we have just experienced that very time. Also, nice frame rate there. There's no better way to explain it, I guess. You just click on stuff, and then the game tells you, dude, you did such a good job clicking on that stuff. Here, click here to have a reward. Does this count as gameplay? This experience can be experienced by a toddler, which is fine, but why stick an Elder Scrolls logo there? This isn't Elder Scrolls. This is whatever, but with a side of fries. Well, I'll give the game some credit. At least it sounds good. Your Majesty, we have too much oil for our needs. We have the option to either donate some to the poor so they can stay warm, tell the poor that they don't matter and just sell the surplus, or just say, nah, we're fine. Nah, we're fine. No one needs any oil. It's good to know as well that 100% of the production of limestone, wood, and oil is happening within this castle. Again, this isn't a castle, this is just a labor camp. Your Highness, fishermen found a hidden treasure buried on a small island.
Keep searching, boys. We gotta find who asked.
Your Highness, a passing detachment of Imperial Legion is asking for our support. And after 14 levels, I can finally unlock the crown store, I mean the gem store. They really hate their own franchise, don't they? And they are also using green gems here as well. Look at that. Look at that right there. Look at those amazing deals. But in case you don't want to buy anything, you can watch an ad in an Elder Scrolls game for free loot. This is the kind of stuff that tells me that they really respect their own franchise. And of course, the Battle Pass. The Emperor's Pass. 27% off, best value for 30 days. Now let me tell you, when I see stuff like this, all I think about is the quintessential Elder Scrolls experience. £95 for the biggest gem bundle deal. With all those gems, you can buy the Adoring Fan for 500 gems. You know what, I'm gonna be serious. I'm absolutely not interested in giving a single dime to this game, so I'm just gonna watch the ad, get some free loot, and get the hell away from the crown store.
Oh no, my dad died! Wait, and my mom? At the same time? But I inherited $9.2 billion. I guess I'll be the richest kid in the orphanage. I have to avenge my parents, so I'm gonna spend the next 18 years training. I'm learning every martial art.
No!
Taekwondo, you name it.
No! I'm now gonna switch over to BitLife. Ah, look at them. I'm such a good king. They are ecstatic. Your Highness, what shall we plan for the mid-year? The people are eager for a big festival. You know what? With this and that, I don't feel like doing anything this year. And now for the combat section of this video, because we can assign our subjects with armor and weapons and tell them to automatically go in a fight somewhere. Does this not look amazing? As my final closing words on this game, the only real oppositional force, one might say, in this game is the process of time. There is no difficulty, there is no using your noodle for anything. If your troops get tired, just put them to rest and then they'll be ready for combat again. If you need resources, just wait for the resources to come. There is nothing in this game. It is shallow. And so I ask, who wants to say this? This is a game that no one asked for. And what puzzles me the most is that people would genuinely pay money for a mobile port of Morrowind. But but instead we're here doing this and this. And at the end of the day, all this does in the long term is, in my opinion, it makes people a lot more cynical about the future of this franchise. Just go to the comment section of the announcement trailer for Elder Scrolls Castles. Jesus Christ, what a massacre. And it's not even that the trailer is that bad. The people making the trailer are genuinely just trying to introduce people to... wait, what is this? Tiber Septim. They added Tiber Septim in this as a knight. Hjalti's sword. And this is him without the helmet. How do you get him? Can be obtained through the Emperor's Pass when your dynasty reaches level 45, or as a possible reward in legendary packs. They added Tiber Septim in the Battle Pass. Guys, I'm just gonna say what we all have in mind at this point. I think the Elder Scrolls 6 is just gonna be a flop.
They have opened court cases against me. They have spoken evil against me.